Being a dentist can be amazingly awesome. It can also be incredibly annoying. This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, dental practice owner, founder of Dental Nachos and Dentist Job Connect. And we have a fantastic Talking Nacho show for you. Our sponsors sharing how they help you do 3 things that are so important to your success. Increase success, decrease stress, and reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. Studies show the number of times you feel like crying inside a day as a dentist is the measure of your happiness level. Before we get started, I want to share that Dentist Job Connect has so many amazing open positions. We can bring up our code to share with our audience that they can text hire to 215-798-9897. Text hire to 215-798-9897 to learn about our open positions and how you can advertise your associate position to share in the joy of full contact arts and crafts on patients who don't really want to be there. That's pretty much what dentisting is, through the power of Dentist Job Connect. I'm ready for my first guest when you guys are ready to bring them up. I have the awesome Mary Fisher Day. So Mary, you've been on the show before, but I'm going to ask everyone here, who are you and what do you do to help dentists increase success and decrease stress?
It would hurt. It would really help if I unmuted myself, right?
Well, Mary, I'm so convinced of my own incompetence. I thought I did something to my own computer, so don't worry. I was worried that was me. So
it's all me. It's all me. Fighting allergies, folks. So this isn't my normal voice. This is my, I guess, on-camera voice today because I'm much quieter at home today because of fighting these allergies. So I own the dental business. It's a practice management group formerly that now we do practice transition is our main focus. I did the pivot in 2019 to focus on practice transitions because I realized after working in practice management and transitions together for years that dentists are underrepresented and underprepared when they buy or sell a practice. And I'm seeing it more so with buying.
And I want to share, Mary, it's the biggest decision of a dentist's career to buy a practice, and people make arguments of, whether it's the biggest decision of their life. And I say this in the most genuine way as someone who sells practices. I will show up at a practice for a 7-year-old dentist and they've had multiple houses and multiple spouses and just one practice. So I think you can make it the biggest decision of a dentist's life, but let's just stick with career for the time being. And there's just not enough good information out there. Dental school doesn't cover this. And there's a lot of opportunities for crying inside with buyers. What are some of the things lack of awareness causes so many problems. And I say, talk to Mary before you put an LOI in. Talk to Mary before you get someone all worked up. You're going to buy their practice. What are some of these lack of awareness things that you see from buyers? Even if they're good intention, they're just not aware of these things.
Well, they're just not aware of who all they need to surround themselves with.
Yeah.
Most aren't aware that a buyer's representative even exists, okay,
Right.
Quite frankly. And they're learning more about it. Until recently, didn't even realize how important it was for dental-specific CPA and dental-specific attorney to be on your team. So it's lack of awareness. It's lack of education in dental school, if that's what they should do. Somebody needs to be preparing dentists who want to own practices for what they need to do.
And you're working with an existing Nacho client who was so happy to have met you because this is a decision that even if it goes well, produces so much anxiety. This is a decision that produces, should I be doing this or not? And having someone on your side to let you know what's normal and what's not so nuts. I mean, there was a recent question on the group, Mary, that said, the seller wants to split the cost of the mailing with me. Is that normal? And I said, yeah, that's normal. I've done it. I bought a practice and split the cost of the mailing. But if they said the seller wants an open-ended contract to work as long as he or she wants in the practice, that's totally not normal. So,
and that's true. That's very true. There's normal and not normal.
Normal, you just say normal and nacho nuts, right? So, what's nacho nuts? Tell us this. How does it work working with you? If someone's listening and they go, I have a practice through broker XYZ. They say just sign on the dotted line. They printed out an LOI for me to hand in. They said the numbers are good. If they take a timeout, Philly sports are doing well. If they could time out and connect with you, What does that look like working with you?
It starts with a phone call, honestly, and then we just decide how I can best help them. Usually, I do prefer to start before the letter of intent is provided, because it's hard to reduce your offer. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's impossible. It's been done, right? We all know that, especially if they think you're going to walk away and they really want you to be the purchaser. But it's important to start with me then. I don't know if you're asking what my fees are, but they're very reasonable for the amount of time I put in. But it's best to start with me before the letter of intent. Otherwise, during due diligence, no later than right after the letter of intent and during due diligence.
And I want to share, don't be dentist cheap on your advisors, whether it's a dental focused attorney, buyer coach, because nothing bad happens. Either these advisors say, let's get you going on this practice. It looks good, that you can be confident. And if you spend 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 in your advisors, it's worth it. But you know what's even more well worth it, Mary? To spend $25,000 to prevent making the biggest mistake of your life. To spend $25,000, and I know your fee isn't $25,000, but I'm just wrapping in buyer coach count. It's always worth it to get advice from people who know what they're doing. So I love what you, Mary. When people text Mary to this number, 215-543-6454, how does that start the process? Do you jump on a phone call? Do you guys do a Zoom call? What do you guys do?
Whichever they prefer, I can do either. But typically it's a phone call, because often it's between patients or on their way home from work, on a drive. So it's just whatever's convenient, what works is fine with me. But they just tell me a little of what they're doing, and they ask me a lot of questions about how I work with them, how I help them, how involved I become. If I will work with their CPA and their attorney, which I do, of course, and I do understand the language of both of those, having been a broker for 9 years prior to all of this. So
I like it. And you know the inside. I mean, as we wrap up, trust but verify is no more important than they say. So just because the broker hands you financial reports, trust but verify. Just because the broker says there's contracts with existing employees, trust but verify. Just because the broker says the equipment is all up to date and won't break next week, trust but verify. So I think that should be your tagline. I'm here to help you verify that. Well, thanks so much, Mary. Love having you as part of the Nacho community. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much.